welcome to Moonlit Fly Fishing. I'm Brandon Moon. Tonight we're going to be tying up a really cool pattern by Ken Morish, the Morish Hopper. This is one of the most iconic and popular hopper patterns. Very durable, floats super high with the foam, and a very effective pattern at that as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for watching. The hook we're going to use is the Premium Moonlit TOGATTA ML 411. You can see I've already taken this body. I put a slit down the middle of that. I'm just going to push that onto the hook just to make sure that it's ready to fit on there when I get to that point. Now I'm going to take and show you how I cut this body. This foam is two 2mm pieces of foam stacked together, and it's the width of the hook gape. Here I started this off backwards. Okay, so now I'm going to take and correct myself. I'm going to take this piece of foam, and I'm going to take from the back end, and I'm going to cut it at an angle so that I go about 75% up the body, and then I'm going to take and reverse so that I have a little bit of a point on that tail. This tapers the body up to that 75%, 66% point. And then you can see I've got that. Now I'm going to take, and on that last little bit, I'm going to go and create another taper to the front, to the head there. Now you can see I've got my body. I'm going to take and trim out at an angle the front part of this head, and then do the same thing to help taper off the tail on the back side here. Doing it on the front is going to allow me to have separation where the eye of the hook and the head is. After I've done that, I'm going to take and put a razor blade and slit down the middle so that I can place this on my hook. Today we're tying this in a size 10. This is one of my favorite sizes. We tie this anywhere from a size 8 all the way to a 12. I'm using classic wax 8/0 Floral Green from Semper Fly. I'm going to start that just behind the eye of the hook. Wrap that all the way back to the bend of the hook, and then wrap forward just in front of the hook point of this hook. Trim out that piece of thread, the tag end. And I want to make sure a nice even layer of thread on this hook. Now I'm going to take and put some super glue on, take my body, and I'm going to push it down over the top of the hook. You can see it kind of sits in there, and that's going to help hold this in place. Now I'm going to take my thread, and I'm just going to go over 2 times loose, and then I'll cinch it down. Now I've taken some legs and I've pre-knotted them and super glued the knot. And you can see it's going to go roughly halfway back the rest of that body for where that knot is. I'm going to go over the top twice, and then I'm going to go in front just to kind of lock that in, and then I'm going to go to the other side. When I tie these knots, I have to tie the knots opposite, and I lock in my thread real quick. I lock in my thread so that I can use loose wraps when I'm securing this on the other side. Now the knot that you're going to tie for these legs, you want to tie one way for one side, and then you're going to tie it the opposite in reverse for the other side so that it will lay down and give you that nice leg look that you see here. So over the top twice, lock that in front one time. Now I'm going to take some super glue just to secure this in so that the legs stay in place. We'll take a piece of 2mm bright green foam, We're going to secure that down with 2 wraps. Once we've secured that down, I'm going to take my scissors and trim out the front part of my legs. I don't want to throw these away because I'm going to use these on the front half of this as well. With one silly leg, I get a full fly out of. So I'm going to save those. Now I'm going to push that on a crisscross up over the top, loose wrap, and then I'll cinch it down. You can see I'm just about a hook eye and a half behind there. Now I'm going to take and tie in my silly legs. I want the back end of that leg to go back and touch the knuckle or the knot on that back leg. Secure that down with 2 wraps and then lock it in place with 1 in front. Now I'm going to reverse that and do the same thing on this other side. Pull that indicator foam out of the way. By using looser wraps, I can adjust that easier. Now I'm just going to take and lock down that foam with a couple wraps. We'll trim that out just so that it's out of the way. Trim this foam just so that it gives a nice angle there. We'll trim the back legs just past the back tail of that. I'm going to trim out the front legs so that they're even. So you can see I'm just going to push them close together. And I've already measured the back, so I can trim the back just a little bit if I need to. But I'm just going to trim that front leg to match the back leg. A little bit of super glue. This is just going to help lock the legs and everything in place. To help with my whip finish on this as well. So we'll secure that down. Take our whip finish and give it a couple whip finishes here. I like to do 3 whip finishes. That's my standard go-to. Now I'm just going to take and snip that out. And there you have the Morish Hopper. Have a wonderful evening.